Unlike some animals, the horse is not a predator. He eats only grass and grain and is in fact a prey of the predators. His best defense against them is his great speed. When cornered, he can bite and kick, but basically he relies on outrunning his enemies. This ability, coupled with his basic gentle nature, led man to tame him as far back as 5,000 years ago. When running wild, the poorly conformed horse was unable to move as fast as others of the herd and soon became food for the predatory animals because he lacked the ability to get away from them. As the breed evolved, the best conformed horses, those whose build allowed them to elude their pursuers, were the ones who survived to raise young. And those best traits were thus handed down from generation to generation. Even after man had tamed the horse, only the better ones were used for breeding. The cowboy, for example, didn't want to be stuck miles from the ranch on a lame horse, so he rode the very best he could find and allowed only those to have babies. Good conformation, then, refers to a horse that is built in the proper way to best perform those functions for which he was bred: running, turning, stopping quickly, and jumping. A horse should be evaluated only on his conformation. That is his true beauty. In halter class competition, the judge knows that the properly conformed horse is the beautiful horse, and he bases his evaluation on that. He watches how the horse travels, judging how his movement may affect his usefulness. He applies his knowledge of skeletal and muscular structure to choose the best horse. In short, to the judge, proper form is beauty. The properly conformed horse is the horse that will function best. And function, when it comes to horses, is everything. While many other factors may affect a horse's performance, training, health, nutrition, shoeing, conformation is the only thing that can't be changed by man. The horse is born with that. The horse's structure must be able to withstand severe stress, strain, and concussion without producing lameness. And it must further enhance his ability to perform as an athlete. But good conformation is not limited to bone and muscle. Vision is extremely important to the horse. He has the largest eye of any land animal except the ostrich. His eyes should be set on the corners of the forehead to allow him to have the greatest arc of vision possible. Horses are naturally frightened if they can't see well, since sight is one of their best early warning devices. A poorly positioned eye can make for a horse who's very apprehensive and may therefore develop a bad disposition. The nostrils must be large enough to enable the horse to carry oxygen to his lungs. If he can't breathe properly, he's not much good at anything. His head should be only large enough to provide room for his eyes, his teeth, his nostrils, and long enough to allow air taken in at the nostrils to be cooled or heated to near body temperature before entering the windpipe. His upper and lower teeth should meet evenly when biting to enable him to crop grass or to chew hay. He should have a long neck and a lean throat latch. His air, his food, blood supply to and from his brain, and his nervous system must pass through the throat latch. A heavy throat latch, when flexed, can restrict some of these vital functions. When you observe the horse in motion, you notice that the body and legs form the motor mass, and the neck and head act as a balance arm. The front legs of the horse bear 60 to 65% of his weight. This means that his front legs are one of the more likely parts of his body to be damaged, so they must be well conformed. His front legs are one of the most vital parts of his entire body in terms of function. The shoulder blade should be long and angulated, which allows him to develop a longer stride, making him smoother riding and less prone to injury because of a better shock-absorbing system. The arm should be at right angles to the shoulder, and sufficiently long to position the front leg from the elbow down near the horse's center of gravity. If the forearm is longer than the cannon bone, it produces a mechanical advantage in the muscles that flex and extend the lower leg, which improves the horse's speed and agility. Moving to the horse's knee, we look for a relatively large structure that faces forward. It has a great deal to do with the strength and straightness of the forelimb and the flight of the foot. The cannon bone should be placed under the middle of the knee. Here's where we look for what's often referred to as a big flat bone. Actually, it's cylindrical, but when the ligaments and tendons are large enough to fit the horse, the appearance seems to be more flat. When watching a horse with straight legs from the front, the forearm, knee, cannon bone, fetlock, pastern, and foot should be equally bisected by an imaginary plumb line. It's easy to see that the concussion is absorbed by the bone and supportive structures. A crooked-legged horse will concentrate that concussion into certain specific areas, causing undue strain and potential damage. When looking at the front leg from the side, the knee should not bend forward or backward when supporting weight. The pastern should have the exact same angle as the toe of the hoof, and it should not be upright, too short, or too long. The foot has to absorb the concussion that results from the movement of the horse, and in order to work right, must have sufficient size and shape to do the job, but not so big that it interferes with the horse's athletic ability. Moving to the back of the horse, it should be nearly level and long enough to keep the body in balance. The withers should hold a saddle without requiring a lot of cinch pressure, and should allow the saddle to be placed in such a position that it does not interfere with the movement of the horse's upper front limbs. The loin should be strong, and the croup should be long. The heart girth should be deep to provide room for the heart, lungs, and other vital structures housed in the chest and barrel. The primary function of the hindquarters is to drive the horse's body forward, to power it. Ideally, there should be sufficient length and angulation in the hip, stifle, and gaskin to allow maximum performance of the powerful muscles in this area. The angulation and size of the hock is very important because, as with the knee in the front leg, it is the site of considerable stress. A plumb line, viewed from the side, dropped from the point of the horse's hip, should go to the point of the hock and right on down the back of the cannon bone to the fetlock. When viewed from behind, this line should bisect equally the structures from the stifle to the ground. This provides the greatest amount of drive from the hind legs with the least amount of strain. So, the properly conformed horse will perform better and stay free of conformation-related infirmities longer. The perfect horse may not exist. Therefore, when evaluating one, you must decide if the good qualities outweigh the bad. By using the standard of excellence to evaluate horses and taking heed of those that excel in equine athletic endeavors, we'll be able to propagate only the best and gradually improve the breed. But only with a thorough understanding of the fundamentals of good conformation will we be able to make those proper judgments. We must recognize the importance of form to function and make our breeding judgments accordingly. If a mare is not fit to perform athletically, the last place to put her is in the broodmare band, perpetuating whatever conformation problems she has. Remember, a well-conformed horse with beauty, balance, and symmetry, coupled with a competitive drive and willing spirit, will be a superior athlete. And it's proper conformation that enables him to perform the tasks we assign to him and perform them well. form to function.